Hello everyone and welcome to today's video on KNIME for data analytics on Intellipaat. Do you know friends that KNIME, which stands for Constant Information Miner, is a powerful open source platform for data analytics and machine learning and also for artificial intelligence. It was first developed in 2004 by the University of Konstanz in Germany, and since then it has become a popular tool for data scientists, researchers and analysts. The platform has a user-friendly graphical interface that allows users to design and execute workflows which can be used for data pre-processing, analysis, visualization and modeling. These workflows can be built by connecting pre-built nodes which represent various data processing steps, or by creating custom nodes using scripting languages like Python and R. KNIME has a vast library of pre-built nodes that cover a wide range of tasks such as data integration, data processing, and time series analysis. Moreover, it supports integration with other tools and platforms such as Hadoop, Spark, and AWS, allowing users to scale their workflows to handle big data. One of the key features of KNIME is its ability to integrate with other programming languages and platforms, which makes it flexible and versatile tool. It also has a strong community of users who contribute to the development of new nodes, extensions, and integrations. Furthermore, KNIME offers various training resources and support channels including online resources, webinars, and user forum. In summary, I would say KNIME is a comprehensive and flexible platform that offers a wide range of data analytics and machine learning capabilities. It's a user-friendly interface and integration with other tools, thus makes it an excellent choice for both beginners and experienced data scientists. Now before we dig more dive into KNIME for data analytics, do not forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon. So let's discuss our agenda first. We are going to start our session with introduction to KNIME. Moving ahead, we are going to understand the KNIME analytics platform. Then we are going to dive into KNIME features. Moving ahead, we are going to discuss working with data in KNIME. Then we are going to learn about the advantages of KNIME. Moving ahead, we are going to discuss removing the missing values. Then we are going to have a brief overview building a bar plot with respect to internet service column. Then we are going to understand the nodes. Moving ahead, we are going to understand the table writer node. Then we are going to study about the CSV reader. Moving ahead, we are going to also discuss the Excel reader scatter plot, and then we are going to study the column filter. And at the end, we are going to conclude our session with the color manager.
Okay, so let me give you a brief idea about KNIME, that it is an analytics platform. Okay, I'll write it down. KNIME analytics platform. Okay, so whenever we are talking about KNIME, we are always referring to this KNIME analytic platform. Okay, and now what is this? That is the question, right? So I will just give you a bookish definition as such as it is a free open source software. Okay, it is a free open source software for creating data science. So this is the bookish definition. It is a free open source software for creating data science. And now what we have to understand is data science is a pretty generic term. Okay, very generic term. Okay, in data science there are a lot of different things. Okay, so again there is a question that will this platform be able to justify everything what we will be doing in data science? The answer is yes. Okay, so this is the bookish definition, that it is a free open source software through which we will be able to deploy each and every case sense with respect to what we will be doing with respect to our data science. Okay, but now let's understand it properly. This is the definition. Okay, but now to give you an idea, a KNIME is a no code approach. Okay, a no code approach with respect to which I will be able to deploy everything that I can do it with respect to any of the programming languages. Okay, now the questions are, will I be able to extract the data? Yes. Will I be able to manipulate the data? Yes. Will I be able to visualize the data? Yes. Will I be able to model a particular algorithm based on which? Yes. Will I be able to justify the model? Yes. Will I be able to predict the data? I can. So to give you an actual overview about what exactly a KNIME is, I can refer KNIME as a platform, okay, on basis of which I will be able to deploy an entire data science flow without any sorts of a programming tuition with me, or without having any sorts of a programming logic, syntactical knowledge with respect to the understanding goes. It is a platform with a intuitive visual interface. Okay, this can be my first part. Okay, or what I can say, what exactly it can do is it will help us to build, or let's say it helps us to analyze data of any complexity level. If I just add on some more points, I can also write it will also help to blend, visualize without coding. Okay, and finally I can also write that it can also be integrated, it can also be integrated to your favorite tools and libraries. Okay, so all the things what we have discussed, I'm just submitting up with respect to these many points. Okay, so why we need Python if we have KNIME? One of the main reasons why KNIME was built with respect to this was that people were usually getting over with respect to the highly distinguished, or let's say highly overview with respect to the variety of different programming languages what we have. For individual different scenarios, we try to use different programming languages, correct? And now, though the people who were highly interactive with respect to the hardcore data science, they had never proposed an issue with respect to programming language, correct? And now the problem was, since most of the tasks with respect to which can be generalized into certain statements which can be integrated with respect to visualizing tools, that was the main purpose why KNIME was bought, to give a person with respect to a complete no code environment. Okay, see, KNIME itself has its own idea. Okay, lots of other platform as such as SageMaker that is available in AWS. Okay, and yes, even a bit of Power BI that you can use, with respect to which a bit extraction delivery that you will be able to deal with it. This is nothing but what exactly is KNIME. So as I have already told you, it is generally used for data analytics, or to build a data science with respect to which I'll be able to understand what exactly is the overall overview of the data, what is the functionality with respect to which I will be able to manage the data, visualize the data, and also if needed predict the data. Okay, so let me read out this also. So as I have told you that it is a open source data analytics platform which provides a drag and drop feature. What is this drag and drop feature? I will show you after we are done with the implementation, or let's say installation. Okay, it lets you find hidden patterns, or can I say data analysis, okay, in your data, and mine the data for fresh insights. Basically nothing but data analytics. Okay, also you can deal with machine learning, deep learning, NLP, ETL, and API integrations that can be integrated with respect to this software. Let's discuss the installation and then we will come back over here. Okay, so just search for KNIME.com. This is a website where you will be able to download and install KNIME. Okay, where exactly you have to go? Just click on download. Okay, here there will be an option for you to write the details of everything. Okay, there will be this page where you have to write all the details. Okay, this is just an optional. Okay, there is no as such mandatory requirement that you have to fill this, but yes, you have to make sure that you're accepting this and clicking this download. Okay. If you want to give the information with respect to which you will be able to get recent updates or anything, you can. Otherwise, you can just accept the policies and click on download. And here is where you will be able to see this. Okay, let me copy the link address and also paste it. Okay, can we use this online also? Please understand that yes, there is a server online also. Okay, there is a server through which you will be able to do that also. But as we are trying to, as this is not a paid version, okay, this will just give you the implementation with respect to which you can build every bit of information locally. Okay, for any association with respect to server base, there is something called as solutions over here. Okay, there are tens of different integrations that you can have. Okay, there is a summit that is happening. You can also visit that for much more information with respect to the implementation of KNIME. Go to knime.com. Okay, next thing you have to select is click on download. Write down if you want, otherwise just accept all this and click on download. This will redirect you to this page. And now what you have to select is the installer one. Okay, there are some there are some people who would like to go with respect to this non-extracted one, the zip one. But what I want you to do is to go ahead and try to do this. If you are selecting any of this, there is something with respect to the path that you have to do. Okay, what I suggest is to go for the installer one. You can select this, and for Mac, scroll down. There is an option here as well for both Mac as well as for Linux as well as for Windows. Okay, so make sure you are installing. How is it different from MS Excel? As there also we have, it is different. Okay, Excel doesn't give you a lot of different ways with respect to data analysis. It will not give you different ways in which you will be able to deploy data science as well. Okay, install it. As this particular software is probably needs at least 4 GB of your RAM for you to start working with it. Okay, it's a very interesting, a very vast sort of use case of data science. Okay, so as you can see that you have to at least specify 4 GB of RAM for you to. So for what all did I do? Please note this. We just have to click on next, keep it 4 GB at least. Click on next, install. Done with your installation. Application is about 1 GB. Okay, somewhere though we downloaded for 460 MB, somewhat like that, but after it is being downloaded, after all the things, it takes up nearly 1 GB of your space. And also the necessity, the required amount of RAM that you have to specify somewhere around 4 GB. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, so completing is done. So let me click on finish. Let me install. Let me launch it with the existing default workspace. This will be your first UI with respect to which you will see this platform. Okay, so this is my KNIME platform. Okay, so here is where I'll be able to deploy everything with respect to what I can discuss as an data science. Okay, I can project with respect to a data set. I can bring out some change in that. I can do everything. How? We will see. First, let me give you an overview of this entire thing. Okay, so let me close this. Okay, so can you see this? Let me close this also, not required. Okay, so this is something called as KNIME Explorer, in which we will be able to see your projects, example workflows, what all different things, what we generally look into with respect to visualization, everything you will be able to see. Is it like SQL, Navilna? No. It looks somewhat like SQL. Maybe the visualization, but it is not like implementation is not like that. Okay, so I even here also in this is the same thing. Can I say that same thing only I am able to see this, correct? So let me take a pointer as well. Yeah, so this is where my KNIME Explorer is actually there, where I'll be able to see the entire workflow. Okay, so what is this workflow is? Workflow is something like a file that we have in Python, IPNB file, right? So in KNIME, it is called as a workflow. Okay, just consider that it has something as a file. Okay, and here, can you see that there is something called as workflow coach? Just consider this as something with respect to which you will get recommendations. Okay, based on the community's usage. Okay, you will get recommendations. If at all there is anything that you have to be recommended, it will be recommended over here. Okay, and here is where very important is something called as node repository. Node repository. What is this node? What is this repository? See, just understand, every implementation in KNIME is done with the help of these something called as nodes. Okay, and where exactly these nodes are available? These nodes are available in this, like this repository, okay, which is called as node repository. Okay, and now where exactly these nodes are actually implanted, or where exactly these are brought into action? It is brought into action in something called as workflow editor. Okay, it is implemented in something called as workflow editor. Okay, here is where you will do with the implementations. You will bring in the data, you will play with that data. Everywhere, everything, whatever you will be doing is with respect to this. Okay, next thing is something called as KNIME Hub. Again, KNIME Hub will give you the information about that particular node. It will give you the understanding of what exactly are the components that you have to use, what exactly is the overall extension that you have to have. Okay, that is your hub. Okay, description about that node, what exactly that is used for, you will get it over here. And this node monitor is something like a command prompt, which you will, where you will see the error, issue, problem, whether the output got evaluated or not, everything you will be able to see here. So it shows the current flow variable values or a preview of the output. Okay, and if I go back and show you that KNIME platform, this is my explorer, this is the coach, this is my repository from which I'll be able to bring in all the nodes, and this is the hub. Yeah, and here I'll be able to see the console. Okay, you will learn a lot of things, you will learn. Okay, so these are nodes, right? I told you these are the nodes on basis of which I will be able to, let's say, for reading, for writing, for reading it with respect to different platforms, everything I just need to search, and accordingly what I have to do, let's say, let's take a simple node, let's say table writer. Okay, I will drag this and I will drop it over here. Chirag, don't worry, you will understand this. Did you see that? I will drag this and I will keep it. Okay, what's the issue? Okay, first of all, this is not, this is where I have to play. Did I create a workflow till now?
If you want to make a career in data science, then Intellipaat has IIT Madras Advanced Data Science and AI Certification Program. This course is of very high quality and cost effective, as it is taught by IIT professors and industry experts.
No, definitely not. So click on file, click on new, click on KNIME workflow. Select this, click on next, give this as KNIME underscore first. Okay, click on finish, and this is my editor. Okay, now please note that I'm just taking a simple, okay, you want me to repeat? Geeta, definitely. Go to file, click on new, click on KNIME workflow, give any name. I'll give it as first, or let's say one. Click on finish, and this will be my workflow. Okay, so now what I told you, I'll search for a simple node. Don't worry, I'll explain about node and all, but to give you an understanding. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll drag this and I will drop it over here. Okay, can you see there is something visually, something like a tab? I have got it over here. Okay, so this is my node. Okay, don't worry what exactly it does, everything will be going through, but understand this is my node. Okay, let me repeat this. I will delete this one. Okay, so we have created a workflow by clicking on new, selecting the workflow, giving the name, done. This is my editor. This will be my place where I'll be able to play with the entire data, make it as per as my need. Okay, so just to give you an example, there is something called as table writer. Okay, so I will drag this, I will drop it over here. Okay, with this, first thing that you have to understand is I was able to bring a node from my node repository. First thing that you have to notice, or first thing you have to understand, this only. Okay, and now the next very much important thing that you have to understand is what is a node. A node gives you the implementation of the required thing. There will be nodes for reading a data, there will be nodes for writing a data, there will be nodes for building a model, there will be nodes for writing a particular algorithm, using a particular algorithm, splitting the data, partitioning the data, or joining the data. Everything we have a particular nodes for the implementation. Okay, we have a particular nodes for the implementation. The most important thing is how can we use this? Correct. Now there is something called a table writer. By the name I can say that, okay, it is nothing but a table. That is what we can do. Okay, what I want you to do is right click and click on configure. Okay, right click and click on configure. Simple, right? Or I can double click this. I will be getting some options. What is that? I have to check. What exactly is this? Everything. Okay, whether to use this data, whether to use that data, what exactly is everything. Okay, everything I will be able to configurize with respect to this. Correct? Everybody able to follow this? There is something called as a node in which I have to configure it. Okay, what I'll do is there is a node for CSV reader. I'll drag this, I will place it over here. Okay, as this right now, which drop down to select? This one. Okay, go to the different things what you need and accordingly manage it. Okay, so in this CSV reader, I'll do either I'll click on right click and click on this, or I will double click it. This will again will give me a pop-up. Okay, this will give me a pop-up where I have to configure this node. Okay, why is there a CSV node? See, for everything, even for an Excel we have a node, we even something with respect to a random data we have a node, even for a table we have a node. Everything there is a separate nodes that we have to use, on basis of which we will do the different implementations. Fine, so now let's read one. Let's see one practical example. So what I'll do, I'll click on browse, I'll search for the data set. Let me see if at all I have anything. I have this customer churn data. I'll click on OK. Okay, so there are a lot of different things that I can do, but one thing I will do is, yeah, it's already considering the first row as column. Correct? Send data. I will, don't worry, I will. Okay, it's already there. Correct? And you can see if I remove this, this will also become like a record. If I select this, this will become my header. If you want to do advanced settings, you can go ahead and make sure. But as of now, the first thing, let's keep it as raw as possible. Then what I will do is I'll click on apply, click on OK. Initially it was here, right? And I was able to see red color. Everyone, did you notice that? Let me show you once again. Very important. Those points are. So what did I do? I brought this reader over here. Can you see a warning symbol and an R over here? Yeah. Okay. So please note this node has some warning and red color. Okay. That means to say that it is not being touched also. Okay. So I have to configure, then only I'll be able to use it. I'll do one thing. I'll click on configure. In configure, I'll browse the file. What file? The one which I had shown. The one which is this. Okay. I'll make sure that the headers are considered. Okay. By clicking on this, I'll click on apply. I'll click on OK. Now this is in configured state, but I did not execute it. Okay. I managed certain things that will give me the configuration to this particular node, but I did not execute this. That is the reason why it is in yellow. Okay. And it's in second pop. Okay. Now for me to execute this, what I'll do, either I can select this and I click on execute, or I will select this and click on execute. Okay. And the shortcut will be F9. What I'll do, I will bring this something called a CSV reader over here. I will configure it. Double click it. You will be able to bring to this particular configuration thing. Click on browse, select that, which is click on this, click on the header, click on apply, click on OK. Now it's in yellow state, which means configured state. Click on right click on execute, or select this, click on F9. Okay. Now everybody should understand that it is in executed state. Okay. Right now this node is executed. Okay. I will right click, and now there is something called as file table. Click on enter, and this will be the output of that. Is this my data, what I have given in that particular data set? Is it like a Power Query in Excel? This is just one application. Can we do this with Excel file? Yes. Okay. Since you're just like you reading the data, you are considering it to as something like Excel or Tableau. When you see the variety of different application, what it does, you will be amazed with respect to the implementation. Okay. We have something called as Excel reader over here. When I see the configuration, right, double click it, you will see that appropriate required details can be fetched over here. Okay. If I browse an Excel access file, I will be able to see. Can you see what type of data you need? How many table contains, how many, everything you will be able to justify, not to worry. Okay. The only thing that you have to need is separate nodes are there. Okay. Why exactly? Some more features with respect to KNIME. Okay. And like this, there are more separate readers. Yes, lots of readers. Okay. Even if you are not able to see here, few, right? If at all you need that, you can search it out. You can install that and accordingly restart your KNIME, and it will be downloaded and installed. Okay. Same like something we do with respect to libraries. Okay. Same like something we do with respect to libraries. Okay. Now, as told, let's move on to some theory as well. Okay. So let's come back, guys. So we were with respect to the features. Okay. Theory is very much important for you to understand as well. Okay. We are done with the introduction. Next thing is features. As I have told you, we will be able to blend data from any source. Okay. That one thing is pretty much 100% sure. Okay. We can have we can have an entity with respect to AWS also through S3. We will be able to accommodate with respect to Google Sheets as well. We will be able to even extract with respect to data with respect to simple CSV files also, and so on. Okay, so everything is written over here. Open and combine simple text formats, connect to host database and data warehouses to integrate data from Oracle, Microsoft SQL, and so on. Access and retrieve data from sources such as Salesforce, SharePoint, SAP Reader, and so on. So The overall objective is I will be able to blend data from any source possible, any source possible. Okay. And recently, since there is a huge number of community building with respect to KNIME, it is very, very easy to have a different mindsets with respect to the integration as well. Okay. One such API will exist such that you will you will be able to correlate or just make sure that to manage the data what you have in variety of different sources to your KNIME platform. Okay. After running the node, right click and select the file. Mohit. Yeah, as Geeta mentioned. Okay. Next thing is shape your data. Okay. Now the question is, as data science is concerned, always the data, whatever we have extracted, will never be of the perfect form what we generally think of. It will have outliers, it will have redundancies, it will have issues, it will have problems, it will have errors, it will have null values, it will have many other things, right? So it will help you out. KNIME will help you out with respect to extracting the data, transforming the data, removing the outliers, removing the data, feature selection. There is something called as feature selection, in which I can say that only the required amount of data can be extracted, can be used with respect to a particular need. That is also possible. How can you do that? There are a lot of things. Everything is implemented via nodes. Okay, via nodes. Okay, that can be aggregate, sort, filter, everything. Okay, so as I told you, it will help you to shape your data with respect to all the things what we have presented, and also detect, let's say, considered to be as an outlier, how to detect, what basis, that also you can have. Okay, this is all with respect to features. Let's say leverage machine learning and AI. That's very important. As I have told you, right, everything we are talking in reference to KNIME will be eventually considering it to be as a data science platform. Okay, here in data science, mostly after this module, after this various data extraction, data preparation, managing it with respect to different scenes, finally we will try to model the data. We will make sure that we are able to predict something or the other with respect to the data what I have. Correct. Either it is supervised or unsupervised learning. I will be able to justify it with respect to some or the other algorithms, and I will be able to deploy it with KNIME. That's very important. That's very useful feature of this KNIME. Okay. And stating the same thing, build machine learning models for using the range of algorithms, optimize model performance, and validate the models. Okay, everything whatever we are doing is in local machine, not in any sorts of a cloud or a server. Okay, next thing is discover and share insights. We are done with data preparation, we are done with modeling with respect to the data as per as I need. Next thing is, based on the output, based on the idea that I'm getting, okay, everything can be used to understand the data, to get some insights, and also to predict the data, what might be the output if I give this as an input. Correct. So these are the features. Okay, so as told, we will be able to demonstrate whatever insights that we are having through this KNIME platform as well. Either we can export the files, either we can export the PDFs, either we can export the visualization, plots, graphs, all those things, and we'll be able to project it to the considering the summary of that particular project. Okay, and scale execution with demands, very important. KNIME is one of the most important idea or understanding that we have to consider is it can scale with respect to the demand. Let's say I have 20,000 records, I'll be able to do it. If I want to increase it, I just have to give the new data to the model. Okay, I might not convert or let's say build the entire workflow once again from scratch, not at all needed. I can build the entire assistance with respect to the entire workflow in a single click just by associating it with the new data. Instead of writing the entire model, I'll just execute a new workflow by copy pasting only the data, nothing apart from that. Okay, say scale execution with demands, build workflow prototypes, scale workflow performances, exercise power in database processing. Okay, so all these are variety of different ways in which you will be able to enlarge or scale the maximum output of the use case of KNIME, whatever be the project. Okay, I'll be able to manage it. Okay, so we have already discussed the platform and working with data. Okay, how popular is this analysis software, widely used or not? It is widely used for sure. Okay, the only thing is, because of the deliberations with respect to a variety of integrations, it is used for a specific number of companies. Okay, as many of the people who are well aware of the well aware with respect to the programming knowledge, they tend to use it directly. Okay, as this is giving you an additional opt for the platform's usage, it can be directly used, like how people know Python or R, they will directly use their own ways in which you will be able to deploy the entire data science scenario. But the people who are not well aware with respect to the data science programming languages, they opt for this. Okay, that is why I'm saying that the entire popularity is with respect to a specific use case. Okay, don't worry, lots and lots of people use this system. Okay, if you are having an entire complete knowledge about KNIME, you can go opt for places where they are hiring with respect to the KNIME user developers. With respect to the use case, there is as such no limitations given. Okay, but based on the amount of hardware that you are capable of with respect to the machine that you will get an appropriate results in the same way. So can you see, this is what I was talking, this is not configured. Okay, where it shows as red, this is configured, meaning there is something which we have done but we have not executed it, and this is where we have executed, and this is where we will not be able to move ahead whenever I get this. Okay, these are the three different states of node that you need to know. Okay, so and yeah, so as I've told you about workflow, a workflow is nothing but it can consist of a different number of nodes. That nodes can be relevant to each other or it can be connected to each other, such that there will be having a complete scenario in which we'll be able to demonstrate the entire workflow. That is the reason why we call this as a workflow. KNIME extensions and integrations, as I've told you, it can be integrated with lots and lots and lots and different things. Okay, so as I was telling, right, let me go back. This is one workflow. Okay, if I want, let's say there is something with respect to join, okay, or let's say concatenate, I can bring this, I can connect this. Okay, I can bring one more data set, I can connect that, I can build scenarios by this connection, I can bring in lots of different use cases by specifying different ways to attach the data based on my problem statement. Yeah, can we integrate it with live data or with a server? Yes, but not with this local. Can we connect to multiple files? Yes, you can. A single node can be connected to multiple nodes. Okay, so let me come back over here. A workflow consists of several combined nodes that can be interlinked with respect to which you will be able to deploy actions. It is connected. It's just like it is just like a way in which you're presenting the data. Okay, it's like I'm having a book that I'm transferring it to you. Okay, that way whatever changes that you have made to that book will be same as what you are presenting it to the next person. Okay, let me give you an example. Let me write let's say I have a plain paper, okay, in which I will write down different things. Let's say with respect to my date, the things what I have learned, and the overall time that I have spent with respect to it. Okay, see that paper, I will just pass it to you. Okay, the same way in KNIME, I'll connect that with respect to a workflow. Okay, this I have one this. Okay, and let's say I have something with respect to reader. Okay, I can connect this. Okay, so as told, this will just be like transferring that book. Can we change the data type? Yes, we can change that. Is it secured connecting organization server through this open source platform? This is all being done locally. Okay, this even without internet you will be able to do it. There is no as such any need for you to have network association to it. I have a file reader, and let's say I have something called as joiner. Okay, what I'll do is I will connect this file reader over here. Let's say I have one more. Okay, I have one more file reader, and I will connect this to here. Okay, so these two datas will be joined, and I'll get a new output over here. Please open this and show files. This doesn't have files. Did I give this data anything? Nothing I've given. Just to give you an example. It is mandatory to have common fields in the nodes that are connected. No, all things cannot be connected. There are certain things that has to be matched on basis of which it will get connected. Okay, concatenate it with respect to simple things. Join is with respect to tables. KNIME extensions, just the common things will be in the new file. Means to connect and combine multiple files of the same type. See, you can combine data of the same type as well, or you can connect by adding it as an other columns as well. Okay, so KNIME workflows, the flow consists several combined things. Yeah, we have already seen this. And various extensions and integrations provide additional functionalities which are different from core functions. Create a JS visualizations, so on and so on and so on. So let's take a break, guys. Okay, so what I'll be doing after this is, we know what is KNIME, what are the features of KNIME, what is the editor, how to install KNIME, and what is node, what is the different stages of a particular node, how to bring it to action, what is browse, how to add everything. Till now, a bit information, or with all these things we were able to cover. Okay, so as I was talking, we came across a lot of things with respect to this platform as well. As told earlier, we have seen a bit on KNIME. What is KNIME? What are the features of KNIME? What is the editor? How exactly it looks like? What is the overall interface? How exactly it looks like? What is a workflow? How to create a workflow? What is the node and different features of node, different states of node, and how can we integrate one node with other? Everything we have seen. Okay. Also, if at all somebody asks you with respect to the advantages, you should be capable of answering a lot with respect to the advantages as well. Okay, so let's take up with some examples. Okay, can you think of any advantages, because you have seen the use case of this? Can you tell me some of the noticeable advantages what you can propose? First thing I can agree with the definition, open source. Okay, easy, I'll write it. Easy to work with, very good. Yeah, one thing with respect to integration, can be integrated with lot of different frameworks, that no slash low code requirement. Okay, open source, definitely true, which can be easily used by all of them without any cost. Next thing is, you will be able to justify a lot of different things with respect to the use case. Easy to work with, definitely, as we can see that there is no as such any requirement of code. We'll be able to deploy as such and any need with respect to the use case. Let me add some more points. Okay, so I can overall say that,
If you want to make a career in data science, then Intellipaat has IIT Madras Advanced Data Science and AI Certification Program. This course is of very high quality and cost effective, as it is taught by IIT professors and industry experts.
The one which we have discussed, scalable. We told that as the number of data or the overall data that is required to be integrated increases, it will directly play a good amount of role with respect to it. Okay, next thing I can use as community driven. I can add this point. Okay, community driven. So since there is a huge community that is working this, you will have a much more benefit with respect to the use case as well. Okay, you will be able to justify a lot with respect to this. Okay. And finally, I can write that higher productivity and effectivity. Okay. Higher productivity, and effectivity. Okay. And now also, if I talk about the companies who use KNIME, which again many of you were discussing. Okay, definitely lot of things we can. Okay, so Lenovo, next thing Deloitte, then PwC, and can also state as Capgemini. Now let's go ahead and try to do something with respect to this. Let me go to this, and the first thing what I'll be searching for is table creator. Okay, this will be the thing which I want. Okay, so this is a node through which I'll be able to create a table. Okay, I want the table to be having a certain information. Let's say column name, I'll give it a, okay, how do I get this? Let me show you that. This is the data. If I double click on this column, I'll get the name of the column. Let me keep this as an ID column. Okay, I can keep this ID as, let's say, integer. Select this and click on something called as height. Let this again be as integer number, double click on, and this be as weight. Let this again be as double click on. Okay, and finally I'll create a column name called as gender. Let that be as string. Okay, yeah, see, integer will not have any sorts of the floating point variables like dot so and so. Okay, but in case of double, there will be a limited amount of floating variables given to it. You will be able to accommodate. Anyways, if you want, you can change this to integer itself. Okay, you can do that. Okay, now I want some inputs. Let's say I'll give the ID as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. IDs generally will be unique, right? So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 records. Let's say height is, let's say, 156. With respect to meters we are talking, let's say 165, 153, 169. Can we define constraints? You can. Okay, let's say 180, 175, 178, 168. These are just random things I'm giving just to give you the implementational aspect of it. Okay, I'll keep it weight as, let's say, 64. Can we use functions like Excel? No. Okay, they are formulas that we can integrate with, but as such, any no drag and drop. Yeah, the drag thing which we do in Excel, that will give us random details. No, not like that. So let's say 76, 87, 87, 76, 78, 65, 100, and let's say 45. Okay, can you please repeat how to rename the column? Double click, give the name as per as you think. Formulas, no. Formulas you can. Domain, I'll tell you. See, domain is specific with respect to use case. Okay, so I'll tell you that. Okay, and now for gender, right? So I'll keep this as female, male, male, female, male. Okay, so this is the overall data that I need with respect to a particular the table which I am creating. Okay, if we want to create a very huge data, then every time we have to do type. See, this is just to show you the demonstration. In real time, you'll always have data with you. You just have to integrate it with, correct? Did you get my point? And there is no, you can also create sample data also. How? I will show you. Okay, but let's take up this as a very initial step. Okay, let me click on apply, click on OK. Okay, so let me execute this F7. Okay, right click. When I click on manually show the thing, so this is the table what I have created. It has ID, it has height, it has weight, it has gender. Is this clear to all of you? Highlight, I didn't get that. I think, yeah, let's keep it this much, short and sweet. Okay, now what all I can do? See, I have lots of things through which I'll be able to do. Okay, let's say, let me try to, okay, anyways, Aman, let's see this. Okay, now just to give you a way in which I'm trying to plot this data as well. Okay, so though this data might get some insights or not, anyways, let's try to build a simple plot. Let's see whether it will give us some proper. See, what I have to do to connect these nodes is I will select this point and I will drop it over here. I'll select this and I can also change the overall looking with respect to this, however I want it to be. But what I'm trying to do over here is I'm just trying to connect this. And now please note that before this connection, let me remove this. This will never be in configured state. Okay. Only after I give a particular data to it, it will be in a configured state. Right now, I'll double click this. Please note that, okay, everything is a very simple plot. There is no as such any major options. Let's click on apply. Let's click on OK. Let's execute this. Let me show this. Yeah, this is the plot which I'm discussing. This is a plot that is generated via this particular node. Now what I'll do is I'll delete this. Yeah, I'll create one with respect to this scatter plot. Okay, the JavaScript plot. Let me connect this. Click on configure. Here I am getting much more options. So let's say I'll choose the x-axis with respect to height. Okay, and I will select the y-axis with respect to the gender. Okay, let me see what type of plot or what type of inference I can make with respect to this plot. Let me execute this, and this is my input data. One node can be connected to how many nodes? As many number of nodes. Okay, so let me delete this. Let me show you once again. Let me bring this up. Select the data source. Execute it. There is no as such as any options over here. Click on apply. Click on execute. And this is the scatter plot. A simple scatter plot that I am trying to visualize. Okay. Now, next thing what I want all of you to see is how can we modify the x-axis with respect to this JavaScript plot. You can bring this plot and you can give the data as per as your need. Okay. So let me give this as gender ID and let me keep this aside. Okay, report on missing values not required. Click on OK, apply and OK. Let me execute this and let me view this. I'm getting no data to display. Can you see? I was able to build height and ID with respect to individual data. Can we manipulate the data? This is just to visualize the data. Okay, manipulate the data, I will show you. Okay, let me show you that. Okay, so what did we do till now? Let me do this. First thing, I'll write it as implementations. First thing what we did was create a table. What was the table, the node name? The node name was table creator. Okay, next thing, we visualized the data. How did I do that? With the help of scatter plot. Okay, so we saw two. One was the simple one which I was able to do, and the other one was with respect to the JavaScript one. Okay, now let me show you some more implementations to give you a familiar aspect of it. Okay, go to the scatter, search for scatter, drag and drop the scatter, connect this particular data over here, configure it with respect to the columns what you need, specify it, click on apply, click on OK, execute it, and finally view it. Simple. After few more implementations, I will show you the overall huge amount of use case. It have all inbuilt functions, most of them. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's try to if I show you the table. So this is my table, correct? Let me filter out the row. Okay, let me filter out the row. So I have something called as filter row filter. I have column filter. I have this row filter. Let me check with this. Okay, first let me show you the column filter. Can we save the visual? Yes, you can save that, not to worry. So I'll extract this column filter. Okay, so what I want to do is first I will connect the data. Okay, so here for this column filter, the data sources with respect to the table what I have created. What is the output of this? This is the output. Okay, and now what I will do it with respect to column filter is I will only extract the data of the columns that I need. What I'll do is I don't want, let's say, wildcard. I will take it out. I don't want, let's say, weight as well. I will bring it out. So if I select this direct move all visible columns, double arrows, I will get it all over here. This way I'll get it all over here. And if I select individual ones, I'll be able to include it one by one. Okay, let me click on apply. Let me click on OK. So as per as the understanding what I have, I will be able to extract only the columns that I need with respect to a particular use case. I'll execute this, and now when I see the filtered table, can you see the ones that I have selected? Okay, that only I'll be able to extract. Okay, let me delete this. What I want is I want a required amount of columns. Yeah, can we filter by values? Yes. For that you have to associate it different nodes. Okay, first you have to order it, then you have to filter by the data, replace it, and then accordingly fetch it. Okay, so let's talk about this column filter. Let's connect this data over here. Double click. I will only select first. Let me bring everything to this side, which means that I will not have this data over here. Okay, I will only select the columns which I need. Let's say ID, let's say weight, and let's say height as well, or let's say gender. I don't want height column. I'll click on apply, click on OK, and execute it, and filter table. I was able to only extract the columns that I need, not anything apart from that. Column filter to extract the required columns. What did we use? We used column filter. If we want all the values that are M, how do we get that? Okay, so in this filter, when I search for filter, with respect to columns, I have many things. With respect to this, I have many things. I have something called as row filter. Okay, let's see what exactly this does. I'll give the data connection first, double click out this. Okay, so please note that what I want a particular test to be done with respect to this gender column. Okay, I'll keep this. Okay, so filter based on the collection and let it be non-thing. I will use pattern matching as an option here. I will select the ones which I need. What do I want? Let's say for male. Okay, I will not care whether it is either an upper letter or a lower letter. Okay, and there are many other options. Okay, include rows by attribute value, exclude. So I basically I need that particular data that are matching to this particular condition. Correct? So I'll click on apply. I'll click on OK. So far it got executed. What is pattern matching? Pattern matching is just to validate whether the exact same is also getting validated or not. Let's say the name is Raghu, R-A-G-H-U. So the pattern matching will only show me if at all even the case that I'm trying to match will be RAGHU. If at all this is matched, then only it will get validated. And now let me filter that. Was I able to extract it? Everything. Okay. So let's say there is one more row filter that I want. Control C, Control V. Okay. What I'll do is I will give this data over here, select this, and now what I'll do is I will select weight column. Okay. I will create weight column. Let's see. How are you adding one more filter? Let's say this is not the thing. I'll just copy this, Control C, Control V. Okay. Okay. I have one more just to also show you this. I have something called as rule-based filter. Let me bring that over here. Can node 3 connect to node 4? Definitely. Why can it not? I will show you that. So what is the output here? Everything can be done. First, let's practice it out in the simplest way. Then only we'll be able to understand. Can we continuous the output of this filter? Okay, let's see this. What is the output over here? Okay, these 1, 2, 3, 5 records I have. Good. What I'll do, let me connect this. Let me configure this. What I'll do is, let me create one more scenario that Aman told me that for all those people on the data who were male, I wanted to extract. Let me also add another scenario in which for all those people whose weight is greater than 75. Let's do that. I'll select this. I will select for which, I'll select for weight and top to height. Everything, see everything I can do. But is, okay, let me just do one thing. Is greater than 70. Okay. If I want to do this, let me bring the simple one, row filter, connect this. Now I'll select this weight. If I want use range, let me give this as lower bound, let it be 0, upper bound as 75. Okay, I want to include all this. Click on apply, click on OK, click on execute, and finally check the filtered value. Okay, since let me check the data if at all I'm having any such data. Okay, yes, I have here weight. And what is this rule-based filter? If I want to implement this, see, this is a filter through which I'll be able to demonstrate multiple conditions. Okay, I'll be able to demonstrate multiple conditions. How will I be able to justify that? How will I be able to justify that? By making, there is conditional filter also. Everything we have. I will do just select this data and I will select it over here. Okay, I have given the data to this particular node. I will configure it. Okay, what I will do is I will specify the condition also over here. Okay, what is the condition that I want is, let's say I want gender. Okay, I want gender to be male. Okay, I want gender to be male. Okay, with this I can also have this height. Okay, for this I have to select one category. Can we use matches category? You mean to say anything you can use. You can specify with respect to the use case also. Let's say, and I'll give it as, and I'll give gender equal to male, and I can give height greater than, let's say, 50. Okay, why is this giving error? I think it's not referenced properly. Gender equal to male and height greater than, again this has an error. Let me bring this, why exactly this error is there. Okay, so just understand that with this rule based I can do anything. Okay, with the help of this rule based I'll be able to bring any such of implementations. Okay, just give me a moment. Before that, yeah, after the I'll make sure why this error is being resolved. It is there, right? Let me check the, if you see this, everything is there. Okay, on that basis only I'll be able to see this. Okay, on basis of which I can specify it. No, it's nothing. All these are comments. It will not make any sorts of justification. Okay, so let's try once again. I think there's something which we have missed. That is the reason why we're getting this error. Okay, anyways, I'll get back to this with respect to how exactly you can do this. I tried that, right? Yeah, it's not working. I'll get back to that. Okay, and now we have got an understanding that how exactly we'll be able to justify it with respect to a variety of different nodes and connect it one another. There are many other things as such as joiner as well, in which we will be able to join this. Okay, so let me delete this. Okay, this data has for males. Let's similarly associate another for female. What I'll do, I'll collect this, present it to this row filter. Let me bring this for female. Click on apply, click on OK, execute it, and filter data. So I was able to do that. Now there is something called as concatenate. Okay, I'll bring this out. Okay, what I'll do is I'll take the output of one row filter from node 3 and the other row filter from node 4. I will concatenate, but the only thing that has to be considered, making sure with respect to which it will be concatenated is that the table headers should be same. Okay, very important. Okay, the table headers should and must be same, otherwise it will not work. All the headers should be same. Okay, so if I execute this, what should be the output?
If you want to make a career in data science, then Intellipaat has IIT Madras Advanced Data Science and AI Certification Program. This course is of very high quality and cost effective, as it is taught by IIT professors and industry experts.
The output should be the all data, right? Output should be the entire data, original table, same data as previous. Perfect. Okay, let me execute this. Done. And finally, this is the concatenated table. Was I able to bring that? Yes. Okay, similar to this, we have something called as joiner also. Okay, I will not execute this today, but I want you to know this also. Okay, we have something called as joiner, in which we have many different joins. Okay, we have something called as an inner join, we have something called as a full outer join, we have something called as a left outer join, right outer join, all these things. Okay, this is similar to this, but it happens, somewhere with respect to data frames, we tend to use this. Okay, how to sort the data range? You can sort it with the help of sorter as well, and you have a group by also. Okay, you can sort the entire data with respect to a particular data column. Based on that range, you can do that. Okay, can we concatenate 3 different? Yes, you can do that. Okay, but for that you need another concatenate on basis of which you will be able to associate it. Let me show you the examples as well. Okay, so there are some basic examples, but what I want you to see is there is one for, let's take this customer segmentation. Okay, so this is a workflow, guys. Lot of different things are integrated with a particular data such that to fulfill a particular use case. Okay, so without a single specification of any sort of a code, we were able to build this. Okay, this is one such example, okay, in which this is the overall problem statement that you have to also check. Customer segmentation is subdivision of market. So basically what they have done is they have subdivisioned the entire customers with respect to their use cases, and we have found certain scenarios. Okay, so this I want you to see. Just don't worry about the implementation, just try to understand the overall workflow. Okay, if you want, let me execute this. Okay, just with this entire thing I'll be able to execute it. Okay, this is one such thing, one such algorithm we have used over here. Let me show you the visualized data. Let's see this denormalized output. So this is the output of that denormalized data that we can use as such as this particular case it is being used. Okay, and I also want you to see one more such thing, and FIFA, this is what I want you to see. Okay, so we can create highly interactive dashboards with respect to KNIME as well. This is entirely done with the help of data science over here, where a particular data is being extracted, add on with respect to different use case, converted the data, and also they have created a map. Let me execute this to show you the use case. Everything got executed, and if you see the SVG image, yeah, this is what I want you to see. See, this is an entire dashboard that we created with respect to which we will be able to have an interactive dashboard. See, when I hover this mouse over this, I will be able to see the number of goals that were done in that particular region in so many different times. Okay, I can also select any such cases. I will be able to justify it. Okay, so let me bring this down. Let me go back to the one which I have done. So I'll create one for rule based. Select this, paste this out. First, let me pinch in the, and here we select this. Yeah, can you see that for all the things? And also, if possible, let me add another constraint. Okay, I will keep this. Okay, and I will specify this gender equal to M, or yeah, it's still giving us error. Yeah, I'll figure out why exactly this is causing. Okay, let's do for only this, and let's click on apply and let's execute this. So can I write and as soon as I'm writing and it's giving us error, we write and specify the gender equal to. I think this is a recursive statement, but let's see whether if it works. Yeah, very good. Let me apply this. Click on OK. Execute. Perfect. Everybody, this is how we'll be able to use this rule-based filter. I think there was a misconfusion with respect to the syntax. Okay, so I did specify individual entity and then I was able to configure it. But now with this direct association, I was able to specify both the conditions. I was able to bring it out. Okay, so I hope everybody were able to do this. Okay, great. And now many people are asking, how did I get that world FIFA counts as well? Okay, so there is something called as examples. Okay, so in this geolocation there are a set of examples. Yeah, let me repeat it. Copy this, I'll cancel this, delete this. Okay, so I will select this rule based filter. Why exactly we are using this? We are using this to specify different conditions on a single set of rule. Okay, I will bring this data. I will bring this data, configure this. I will specify this condition where I have specified this weight is greater than 70 and gender is M. Click on apply, click on OK and execute it. And here is the output. Okay, let me come back and let me show you how exactly you can look into the examples as well. So here, go into this geolocations and here there are a lot of different examples. One among them is FIFA World Cup. Double click on this, you will be able to justify this. Okay, you will not be able to see direct graphs. First thing you have to do is you have to execute this. The entire thing you have to execute this. Okay, for which just click on this one. All the nodes will get executed in that particular workflow and you will be able to have an interactive JavaScript view with respect to which you will have a high interactive. It is in your examples under visualization, under geolocation, there is something called as FIFA World Cup. Please have a look into it. Okay, you have lots of others as well. Okay, let's say for pre-processing, there is something called data ML models. Double click on it. It will load that workflow. Click on yes to make sure everything that it needs is present. And here is something for one particular data. Okay. If this happens, right, click on next. This is just to download all the necessity libraries that you need. How do we export it in case we need to show the similar interactive data to someone in the meeting? What you have to do is you will not be able to save an example. Okay. What you can do is you can extract the initial or the everything, but you have to save it in your local repository. Okay. Do you want me to show that? Okay. And this, if this comes up, you have to accept the license. Click on finish, click on next. Yeah. For that, I have to restart. Let me restart it. Let's say save. Okay. So please note that I will not be able to save this. If I save this, it will show you that you don't have permission to overwrite this workflows. In order to save, you have to save it in different location. For this, go to this, click on OK first, click on save as, select the local workspace, click on OK, and here you will be able to save it in your own local base. And please note that now you will be able to change everything. You will be able to do a lot of stuff. Did you get this? And even if you want to use the entire copy and paste it in your new one, you will be able to do that. We will try to see some general approaches of data manipulation and data extraction. Okay. After that, we'll be implementing some criteria with respect to my data science, or even I can consider as different algorithms on basis of which we can get a lot of different scenarios. So I have a data set. Let me show you that. I have a simple gender data set which I have created to demonstrate the work of simple manipulation operations. So first thing what I want to do is, okay, so let's try to read this particular data. Okay, I have something called as Excel reader. Okay, I can use this. Let me drag and drop it over here. Let me create one simple workflow. Okay, let me drag and drop this Excel reader. Okay, so I have used this Excel reader. Okay, now what I want you to think is like how there will be some or the other configurations for every node, even this will have. So let's go into this. Let me browse this, the file which actually I need. So here is my desktop. This is my file. Okay, so if you want, you can also check with some details. Let it be as of now detail. All the things, let it be default, and let me click on apply and okay. Okay, let me execute this. Let me see it as a file. So this is my table. Okay, this is the data that I have extracted with that Excel reader node, and I was able to use it. Okay, can you show how did you create a node? So first thing what you have to do is go to your node repository. Okay, if you're not able to see this, go here, select this, restore. Okay, you will be able to see everything. Okay, and search for read. Okay, as soon as you search for it, there will be a lot of different nodes that you will get with respect to which you will use those nodes for different implementations. Okay, so this is your platform. Click on file, click on new, or I'll just click on Control N. That will open a pop-up for me to create a workflow. Okay, and now I'll give this name as something called as second, or since it is already there, second. Click on finish. This is my workflow. This part of frame is called as editor, correct? Workspace or editor. Click on file, click on new. This will be this thing. Click on this and specify the name of that. Let's say second. Done. This is called as your workspace or editor. Now what you have to do, I have already shared the file. What file I have shared? I have shared a XLSX file. So I'll search for read here. Okay, and here I have an option for Excel reader. Okay, because XLSX is a Excel formatted data. So I'll just drag this. I will drop it out here.
If you want to make a career in data science, then Intellipaat has IIT Madras Advanced Data Science and AI Certification Program. This course is of very high quality and cost effective, as it is taught by IIT professors and industry experts.
Simple. And now this is a node. It will not have any configurations. What do you mean by configurations? I have to tell where the data is. I have to tell which data has to be extracted. I have to tell what are all the configurations that you have to take into place. Okay. And what state this node actually is in? Inactive state. Okay. And how to get the node repository? If you are not able to see this, just go here, search for restore. Okay, the last two buttons, you will be able to see that. Okay, and now this node is in inactive state. Configure it, double click, and you will be able to see a set of different options based on which you will be able to configure what that particular node. Okay, as we are reading this particular node, I'll just click on browse, go for where exactly my data set is. So I have it over here. I'll click on OK. Okay. See, please note that this will give you a basic idea about how exactly your data looks like. Okay. All those things. If I remove this, even the headers also will look like a record, which I don't want actually. So I want the headers to be as headers. So I will select this and I'll click on apply and I'll click on OK. Okay. Right now it is in active state, but it is not executed. Okay, it is not executed. And now for me to have a look into with respect to the node, why have I used this node? I have to execute it. Okay, so before making sure that to view the table, execute it. This will fulfill this particular job of that particular node. Okay, and now when I right click, when I see the table, I will be able to see the node without any problem. Okay, simple, right? I just extracted a particular data on basis of which I was able to view it. Yeah, for a couple of time, just for a couple of minutes, I'll be just giving you a variety of different scenarios to give you some implementations with respect to data manipulation. Okay, so the first implementation that I want all of you to understand is I want to only extract ID and weight. How do I do that? Filter. What filter? How do I concatenate? Not required, right? Yeah, I have something called as column filter. Search it out. Yeah, I have something called as column filter. What I'll do, either I can double click, okay, automatically it will join. Okay, let me show you once again. Either I can drag and drop, okay, or I can just double click. This will automatically create that particular node. Done. Now what I'll do, first thing, again it is in inactive state. As soon as I connect this data, it will be in an active state. So the basic configuration is done. Okay, the basic configuration is done. Now when I double click on this, it will go into the configuration state where I have to specify what exactly I wanted. What are all the two columns that I need? Let me bring everything into exclude first. I want the ID and I want the weight. Okay, so let me click on apply. Let me click on OK and execute this. Okay, when I see the filter table, I'll be having only two columns. Okay, and next thing is, let's say I want a let's say some scatter plot with respect to this. What can I use? I'll search for scatter plot. Okay, I'll bring this here. Okay, since let me give this with respect to the entire data, I'll select this particular Excel reader's data itself, double click. I'll choose the x-axis as, let's say, height and weight. Okay, hopefully it should give me some output. Let me execute it. This is my scatter plot. Color coordinations. So I have something called as color manager. Okay, so basically what I want is the whatever plot that I'm getting, let it have some colors as well. How do I bring that is, I can bring this over here give this data to this, remove this, and gives this data to this. Correct. But don't you think we were able to build one new node, delete the previous attachment or the connection, create a new connection, and then the output of this to this? Lot of new steps. Correct. So what I want to do is, I will take this node manager, I will drag this, and there is a connection, right? As soon as I go to that connection, it will turn red. Just click on this, click on OK. Can you see? Automatically, I was able to add an entire node in between two nodes. Okay, that's a very helpful thing that you can use it in variety of different places, such that you will be able to create additions of different nodes without disturbing the previous thing. Yeah, how did we add a separate node in between two nodes without any additional steps? Okay, and how this is important, why this is important, I'll tell you. See, whenever there is some changes, random changes that we do for variety of different things to check whether which plot is getting good ideas or what inference I'm getting, can I do some more implementations, this, that, it will be helpful for me. That's the reason I tend to use this as one of the reasons with respect to which I'll be able to do many things. This is the symbol that you might generally see, because sometimes if I just double click on this, see, first of all, what is the color codation with respect to which I'm trying to do this? Let me configure this. Okay, here I just want data which are nominal, meaning that categorical data to be colored with one such ranges. Okay, so let me show you that. If I change this to height, okay, so I can select ranges also, based on which I'll be able to get different colors. Okay, so as I did plot with respect to height, so I'll keep this with respect to min as 150 and more than that 190. So I can do this, click on apply, click on OK. Now let me execute this, and now this is the plot that I will. Can you see that there are changes in the color as well? You can add annotations to it. Okay, so let's take one more example. What I'll do, I'll take so this is the data, right? Okay, so let's build a plot with respect to my ID and okay, I think these are the two values on basis of which scatter plot can be built in a better way. So let us do this. Okay, so let's take up another scatter plot. Okay, for all those who asked me to repeat, let's do this. Okay, so what I'll do, I have a scatter plot. First, let me connect this. Okay, I can bring this down. Okay, in the configuration, what I'll do, I can name this again. How to give different names, please have a look. I can select names over here. Let's say scatter plot 2. Okay, here I will make, okay, I am not sure what type of scatter plot we can get, but let's try this out. Okay, I'll give the x-axis as ID and this as weight. Okay, generally scatter plots are generally used for numeric data. Anyways, this can be considered as nominal data. I will try it out. I'll click on apply, I'll click on OK. Okay, and now when I execute this and when I open a plot, okay, I was able to get a plot. Now what I want is, I want some color quotations to this. Okay, so I'll go for color manager, select it in between, click on OK and configure it now. Okay, so let's say we were with respect to height, right? So and now if you want to change this as well, you can change that. But just a second, let me have some, yeah, you can change that. You can also change the minimum and maximum with respect to a particular column. Yes, you can. Okay, let us go to color coding and let's change the set with respect to male. Let's keep it as yellow and set to as okay. See, job manager, let me show you that. If you want to add this, it will just give you an additional localized feature of that particular job. When I execute this, let me execute and execute this. Here is your plot. Okay, it'll just give you a standard version of which you will be able to look in with respect to the data. Okay, that is the I think there is, yeah, this is the plot that you will be seeing. Okay, now what I want, if you want to create 3D graphs, what do we do? See, for 3D, if you want to create 3D graphs, see, KNIME is a basic visualization tool. Okay, if you want to have an entire understanding of a 3D model, then you have to download the ones with respect to which KNIME offers. Okay, in local it does not offers. Okay, I'll show you. You just have to bring a scatter plot, keep it over here, provide the data, likewise, okay, add the color manager in between, execute both the things, you will be able to see this. This is column name. I'll show you. It is inside this. Okay, let me have check the error. Just keep it as scatter, apply, click on OK, execute it. Maximum row is 2500. You can increase this, and this should appear actually. Let me, all these options are right, the ones which you can add to that particular plot through which you will be able to, yeah, it is here. So scatter plot 2, let's click on apply, let's click on OK, let's click on this, and you will be able to execute it, and yeah, you are able to see that. Okay, and even this name of the plot, that also you can do because of the data, I guess. If I change this models, right, let me change the configuration of it. Let us make sure we have, let's say, with respect to the sex column, let me apply this, change it, change the color cotations. Let me select this to green and that to be yellow. Click on apply, click on OK, and execute this, execute this. You can see the both. And also, Aliaskar, the reason why that changes was not seen because the color quotations was something near to it. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, is there a way to execute all the nodes together? Yes, you have to go here. There is an option in which you will be able to execute all executable nodes. Can you see this? Yeah, so this way you will be able to execute it. Excel is with respect to business analytics. KNIME is with respect to data science. Okay, and now let's move ahead. Let me create a new KNIME flow. Okay, or let's keep it over here itself. Now what I want all of you to do is, I have this data, correct? Okay, now the first thing what we'll be doing is, we will start, but let's do one exercise before that. Okay, so just go for Excel reader, drop it out, double click, browse the downloaded file, select that file, click on OK, and execute it. That will read the data. Okay, let us read that data. First thing, read that data, the one which I had given you. Let me double click this, browse the file, and let me click on apply, click on OK. Can we directly drag the data to the workflow? Just give you a shortcut of it. Okay, anyways, this path will be copied. Okay, so let's delete this and let's execute this. Okay, and this is the data set. Okay, so let me write down the question. The first question is, removing the missing values. Okay, removing the missing values. How do I remove the missing values? Okay, first let's look into the data set if I have some missing values in it. Okay, the overall number of rows that I have is somewhere around 7043 rows. Okay, I should be able to see at least one missing value. First of all, understand that we have missing values here. Okay, I'll also confirm you how to verify that. Okay, right now 7043 records are there. Okay, can you bring in some logic on basis of which we will be able to remove missing values? Okay, so first of all, let me tell you that for individual question, there will be many different approaches. Okay, the one which I will be using will not be the same with respect to other. Okay, some people use row rule based filter. Some people go for direct missing filter. There are some implementation where they will convert a particular column into some other data type, try to validate with respect to different cases, and then they will be able to remove that. Okay, so all this I'm saying just to make sure that people will choose for different approaches. Okay, so as of now we will go for the simplest one with respect to finding out the missing values, which is this missing value. Okay, I'll just connect this to the file which I have read.
If you want to make a career in data science, then Intellipaat has IIT Madras Advanced Data Science and AI Certification Program. This course is of very high quality and cost effective, as it is taught by IIT professors and industry experts.
In configuration, if I do nothing right, let's say if I execute and it will show me a warning. But anyways, warnings are just to give you an idea, okay, that there is something wrong or there can be something wrong. Okay, but sometimes even if there is nothing wrong, it will show you the warnings, but that is very rare in some cases. Okay, so can you see that there are no changes in the number of records? Okay, but this is not right. So let me configure it again. Please note that there are some options, okay, in this for the entire data set. Okay, so the idea is, if at all the data in any of the particular columns, if at all if it is string, it is asking you to do nothing. But what is that we have to do? We have to remove it. Okay, but in data science, what else can we do apart from removing the entire row? So we can use the mode, right? When you see this, there are many options that we can do. Okay, so most frequent value is nothing but my mode. But what I want you to do is, let me remove the entire row itself. Okay, so what I'll do for every, so for string, I will remove the data. For this, again, I'll scroll down, I'll remove the data. Okay, and for also double, I will tend to remove the data. Okay, so let me execute this. Why removing? See, we are just verifying it. Okay, you can do anything. PPML. Okay, PPML is something with respect to markup language. Okay, it stands for personalized print something, markup language. Okay, but anyways, I will try to remove all these things. Okay, so I have removed row. Okay, I'll click on apply, click on OK. Okay, and now I'll click on OK. Okay, let me execute this. Okay, and now let me view this output. Can you see that we're somewhere around 11 missing values that we did remove? Okay, now the next question is, build a bar plot with respect to internet service column. Okay, it's a simple required. Okay, so I just need to build a bar plot just to find out with respect to my internet service column, how many people have having so and so internet service, how many people are having so and so. First, let me see the data. So if I go to the internet service column, which is here, I have something called as DSL, fiber optic, and no as different values. Correct? This column. Okay. I have something called as no, fiber optic, and also DSL. Okay. Now I need to plot a bar plot for it. So I'll search for bar chart. I have a chart for it. I'll drag this out and I will connect to it. Simple. I'll keep everything with respect to the same itself. I'll not change anything. Click on apply. Okay, wait. What all I have to do? On what basis I'm trying to build a plot? I have to select that, which is with respect to my internet service. Okay. I will have the concurrent occurrence count itself. Click on apply. Click on OK. Click on execute. And let's say my bar. Simple. Okay. Let's move ahead. Okay. The next question is find out the people who are senior citizens and whose monthly charges is greater than, let's say, 50. Again, I told you that many people will have many different ideas on basis of which you will be able to. The one which we have already studied, something called as a row filter. So this is my row filter. Correct? So what was the question? The question was to find out all the people in this particular data, okay, in which they are senior citizens. First of all, understand senior citizen is a integer column. Okay, either I can change this to a string and find out greater than 0. That will give me an approach. I can convert that particular column to a string, or no, let it be as integer. I can just create one scenario where I'm checking greater than 0. That will also make a good approach. Yes or no? Let me show you that. So what I'll do, I will bring this over here. Okay. So first of all, this is the data what I have. After removing the missing values, I will double click on this. First thing, since I cannot apply for all columns at once, what I'll do is I'll select the first column. Let's say senior citizen. What I'll do, I will include it. I will not do anything. I'll just include it. Either I can go for pattern matching or ranges. Okay, what I'll do is, since this is an integer, I'll go for range. Okay, or let's do one thing. Let's keep it up as pattern matching and I'll select one. Okay, I'll show you once again. Click on apply, click on OK. Let's execute this. Let's see the output. Correct? Was I able to get that, senior citizens? Let me show you once again. What was the node that I'm using? I'm using this row filter over here. I will drag this missing value data, but the data which I've already, in which I have already removed the missing values. Double click to configure it, and I am just selecting one of the columns of that the questions, which is senior citizen, in which I'll specify the pattern matching as 1 because that is the data that we are actually concerned with. Click on OK and click on execute. And this is the output, 1142. Okay, but as we are just trying to figure out with basic. Okay, now I have one more question, one last question. After that, we'll go for a break and then we'll continue with the implementation of machine learning algorithm. Extract only customer ID and senior citizens. Okay, let me explain this question. Okay, I want the customer ID and those senior citizens. Okay, or better, who are senior citizens whose internet service is DSL. Select this, click on disconnect. First, what I will do is I will create a row filter. Okay, I'll just bring it out. Okay, this is my approach. It might vary from yours. Totally fine. What I'll do, I'll give the data. In the configuration, what I'll do, I will extract for the senior citizens. I will give it as 1. I'll click on apply. I'll click on OK. Execute. Done. The output is this, which is not perfectly correct. Next thing, I will create another row filter. I'll create another row filter. I will give this data in which I will specify, let's say, the next condition. Internet service. What was the question? In which whose internet service? Internet service is DSL. Correct? Let me click on OK. Let me verify DSL, apply and OK. Execute it. Filter the data. So 2 condition is satisfied. One is the customer is senior citizen, and now the other one, the internet service is DSL. But again, one thing we should do, what? That we have to extract only the customer IDs. The output will be 259 only. But if I want to visualize it, right, I will be using a column filter over here. I will use a column filter. Connect this, double click, and I'll remove everything. I'll just take this customer ID. I'll click on OK, execute it. Okay, I needed what? Only the customer IDs, which is what I want. First thing, simple, CSV reader, double click, specified senior citizen, specified the pattern matching. So here, senior citizen matched as 1. Next thing, in that internet service marked as DSL. And finally, this will have the entire data, which is fine, but I was asked only for customer ID. So I have selected customer ID. I was talking about this rule-based row filter. Selected the internet service, selected the pattern that I have looking for, gave it to the, executed it, and then I was able to forward it to the third column filter from which I was able to do that. Okay, and now here I can specify individual rules. Okay, both. First, I have to select the data. I have to pass the data. Okay, next thing, configure it. Okay, but the thing is, it has to match the exact syntax. Okay, and the reason why I'm not doing is, let's say the normal syntax is, I need customer ID matches the condition where senior citizen equal to 1 and internet service is equal to DSL. Okay, if this is to be true, it will give me. Okay, but because there is some issues with this syntax that I have to match it, okay, to make sure this KNIME understands. That's the reason I was not able to. That's the reason why I was not going for this. It has a syntactical barrier. Even if everything looks fine, there is some syntactical barrier that we have to overcome. That's the reason we don't go for this. Okay, guys. So let's try to get in something with respect to machine learning now. Okay, now what I want all of you to try to understand is, everybody is familiar with the concept of data science and also the concept of linear regression. What is linear regression and where exactly it is used, and is there any logic out of it which we can define with respect to linear regression? First and foremost, it's a supervised learning. And linear regression, it is generally used for continuous data or numeric data. Am I right? It is generally used for numeric data. Yes or no? Okay. And what exactly it tries to define? It just tries to define the basic dependencies between variables. Correct? And now that is what we are trying to. Okay. So what I'll be doing is, I'll copy this. Okay. What is this data? This is our gender.xls data. We will keep it as the same. Click on apply, click on OK, and execute. Okay. And this is my file table. Okay. Now let's try to check. Okay. How exactly height and weight are depending with respect to each other. Okay, though okay, let's do one more thing. Than this, let's take up this, the one which we had, the customer this I think we can, though we don't have any as such as any format to follow with respect to data science. What I'll do is I'll take some of the input variables. Let's try to figure out how to implement this rather than the inference. Okay, in real world, in real projects, you will have a proper objective of a particular data science. Okay, since we are trying out with respect to different implementations, let's try to do this. This is my data. Okay, this is my customer churn data, and after this, this is the data that I have got after removing the missing values. Okay, first thing for any, let's use modeling, what do we do? Data cleansing. We are more or less, we are done with that. Shape of the data, that is for our picturizing. Okay, statistical understanding, that's fine, we will try to understand that also. But before that, duplicates and all you can remove, but as such as the first and foremost with respect to modeling will always be my sampling data. Okay, what is sampling, guys? Yes, Geeta, very good. Train and test data. I will try to formulate these two scenarios with respect to train and test such that I will be able to model an algorithm with respect to the observed data. What to do with respect to the first thing for modeling? We will try to sample the data with respect to the train and test. Okay, for that we have a node. It is called as partitioning. Okay, for that we have something called as partitioning. Okay, so first thing, I will connect the data what I have, and I can configure it with respect to that. Okay, so there are few techniques of sampling as well. Okay, so what first thing, let me read the data which is of Excel reader.
If you want to make a career in data science, then Intellipaat has IIT Madras Advanced Data Science and AI Certification Program. This course is of very high quality and cost effective, as it is taught by IIT professors and industry experts.
What I have to do, I have to take into that my data set, on apply, click on OK. So let me execute this. Okay, what is the issue? This is a Excel reader. What I have to choose is a CSV reader. So I'll bring that CSV reader. Okay, let me select the data which is under here, and yeah. So let me make sure that first header files are noted. Click on apply and done. Okay, and now let me execute this. Done. After this, I used this missing value node, and I can now configure it with respect to what exactly I have to do. So I will just connect this and let me remove the row everywhere. Click on apply, click on OK. So this is done. Let me execute this, and I was able to remove the missing values as well. Next thing, what we try to do is partitioning. Sir, does the data analyst require AWS and Azure? Aman Saxena, for data, see, knowing about one particular cloud will always help you with respect to the implementation, as most of the data analytics works are generally deployed in cloud. Okay. So that will help you in a sense. Okay. But directly, it's not regular to that. Of course, AWS is much more popular, and because of the implementations, it has lots of different services, and it has, I guess, more than 200 different services, and the overall market share which has is also pretty much huge. Okay, so this is my partitioning. Why am I having this particular node? To split the data. Did you configure missing values? Already done, Deepak. Okay, and now I have to connect this, and here I have different configured with to remove the rows, Deepak. Here to remove this rows, I did configure it, but your node 2 is not in final set. Are you talking about this warning? See, as I told you, if you change it with respect to any of the mean or mode of that particular thing, it will not cause anything. Okay, as I have already told you, that warning is just to represent with respect to the, if at all you use this in any other platforms, it will not take that. Okay, that's the reason why you are getting that. Anyways, it will work fine. And now, as I was talking about the partitioning, you can specify the general objective is approximately 65 to 70% has to be given to your training data set, so that you will use that to build model. Okay, and the rest of that you will use it to predict the data or to test your model. And why exactly this is necessary? Can anybody let me know? Okay, to check accuracy, all those things is fine, but why cannot I give 100% to the trained data? What will it lead to? What will be the problem as a data biasness? Or the other word for that, the more technical word which I can use is, okay, first of all, understand that in machine learning, always, like they say, your score will always be accurate when tested. Okay, but let me tell you this. Whenever you're trying to build any model, you don't want your model to just take one particular data and remember that. To avoid overfitting, we tend to divide our data set. Okay, the problem with this is I want my model to predict for any new value. Okay, it should not remember the ones that on based it is generally built with. That is what I not want my model to be. Okay, that is the reason, to avoid this overfitting, I divide this data to train and test. If anybody asks you, why cannot we give 100% data to the trained to train the model? The answer will be to avoid overfitting. If we give the entire data to the trained data, then the entire model will learn the entire data rather than to predict to any new values. Okay. And again, the question is, how do we make the entire model much more accurate? By trying out with number of different ideas, by making different number of changes and many other things. Okay. And that is the reason why we also split the data into train and test. Is there a chance of underfitting through with 70%? Okay. If at all the data that you are using is very less, somewhere around with respect to thousands of records, that there are some changes that you can also consider based on the data what you have. If at all you are having some data that are repeating itself in a huge number of times, okay, such as the height of a person, okay, because the overall change is very less, right? In the entire world, the chances of a different height with respect to a fully grown man is somewhere with respect to 2 or 4 feet. That's it. Correct. So there, in some cases, it tends to be as underfitted data. Okay. Here we are splitting the data. Okay. There are many things. Take from top: linear sampling, stratified sampling, and draw random. Always what we consider is best for the any model purposes, the random one. Okay. Because this will give me the best case scenario such that I can test it in the best way possible. Okay. Even if the data is sorted also, that will not be any issue with respect to this. So that is the reason I'll go for this draw randomly. I'll click on apply. I'll click on OK. Okay. Let me execute this. Okay. Now the next thing what I want you to do is go for the linear regression. Okay. Here is your linear regression. Okay. This is the model that you will be using to find out the linear regression. I will give the trained data to this particular model, double click it, and now I will specify the target variable and the dependent variables. I'll exclude everything as of now. I will keep the target variable as, let's say, total charges. Okay. And let's say I will keep the independent variables as such as monthly charges. I'll keep one as of now. Okay. And now I'll click on apply and I'll click on OK. See, linear sampling is just with respect to a number of series of records. Let's say the initial 70% I will give to the trained data without any biasness. That is called as linear sampling. Stratified sampling is, let's say I have 100 people. Okay, let's say I have 100 people. I'm just referring it to stratified sampling over here. What I'll do with respect to stratified sample is, if I want to create 70% random extraction, I will just take any of the 70% for my random sampling. Correct? For stratified sampling, what I'll do, I will create that 100 people into, let's say, 5 groups, 20, 20, 20, 20. And now what I'll do, 70% of that people will be taken in all that 10 group, all that 5 groups. That is called as stratified sampling, meaning that I will have levels for that particular sampling. Strata means levels over here. Got it? I will divide the data set into multiple groups and I will sample from that individual groups. Okay. So here in linear regression, what am I doing is, I will give the target variable as, let's say, total charges, and I will give the other thing. You can specify everything, but as linear regression is mostly used for numeric data, let's consider that only. And here I'm selecting this monthly charges. Click on apply and click on OK. Done. So I have built a model. Let me execute it. Done. So now we have built a particular model. Okay. First thing what I want you to see is to check the statistics of a particular model. Okay. All these are statistical terminologies. Okay. With respect to which I can either accept the model or reject the model. Why are these important? So even if I have, let's say, 50 models that I have built with respect to a particular problem statement, how will I correlate that models? I will correlate that models with respect to these quantities. What are these quantities? These are your statistical coefficients on basis of which you have to accept or reject this. Okay. Let's see what else I can see. Okay. Model of predictor. This. Fine. What else we can see? Main thing I want you to see is this. Okay. And one more thing which is very important for you to see is this. Okay. This is what I want you to see. Okay. There is some linear relationship that we are having. Fine. Let's try to build a predictor also. Okay. A missing value, support, disable, C node configuration. Make sure whatever node configurations that you're giving, you are able to do this. Also predict the data, right? So I have something called as regression predictor. I will drag and drop this over here. What I want to do is I will give this output of this model to my predictor. Okay. Should I give this to the predictor or should I give the test data? Node 3 to 5. Okay. I hope everybody is clear with that. For me to predict the outcome of this model, I have to give the partitioned data or the test data. Okay. I don't want anything to be changed over here. I'll keep it as everything and let me execute this. Done. Okay. And now let me check the output. Predicted data. Okay. This all is fine. What I want you to see is this is my predicted total charges with respect to the total charges. I can clearly say that this is highly non-correlated. Yes or no? Just if I give the monthly charges, I will get something like this, which is a very, very highly not relevant because it is giving me values that are not at all related. Let's take one more scenario. Okay, we had one more data, which was an Excel reader for same Excel reader in which I had a gender data set, KNIME, gender. Okay. Let's see if at all we can build anything out of it. Okay. Okay. So I'll not use this. I'll just use this partition. Give this data. I will keep it up as random. Click on OK. And again, I'll take this linear regression because again, I don't see much of data that can be used over here. Let's try if at all there is anything we can build out of this. Let me execute this. Let me configure this. Okay. So I can use, let's say, weight and I'll keep this all. Okay. And let's me predict it with respect to this. Yeah, the predicted data with respect to this is much more accurate. I had given this weight as the dependent and height and the sex as the independent features. Now with respect to the model, the predicted output For this 50 as in actual output, I got somewhere the results as 41.018. For 85, I got somewhere around 79. For 80, I got 80.584. For 80 again, I got 81.292, which explains that my machine learning model is given me some or the other accurate results with respect to this. Correct? Configuration of the printer. In configuration, there is nothing much to decide. Everything you can just, okay. Next thing, what I want to do is with respect to the logistic regression. You want me to do logistic regression or decision tree? Anyone, you can tell me. Okay. Because logistic regression is the same something with respect to this, in which I will specify the categorical data. Okay. Categorical data. Okay, let's try to understand, because we are having a stamp on this, and also I also have a case study which I want all of you to, okay, I have a case study that I want all of you to try it out. It's a very simple one, very basic data manipulation operations. Okay, so let's try to understand decision tree. I'll create one more workflow. I'll call it as, first, let me also talk about a bit theory. For what type of data can I use decision tree? Okay, many people says that either it is classification, sequential. The idea is decision tree can be used for both regression as well as classification. Okay, the idea behind decision tree is used for both regression and classification. You can use it for both the purposes. Okay, but again, there is a question that why do we use it for classification as we are already having this logistic regression? Then the idea is because of its different approach towards finding out the relations between categories. Okay, it is giving much more add-on with respect to what you will be doing with respect to logistic regression. That is the reason why you use this decision tree in a much wider way with respect to the implementations also, as well as the accuracies. Okay, and random forest is just an extension of decision tree. Okay, where you will specify the number of trees. Okay, it's like finding out with respect to huge number of branching out of them to classify it with respect to under which category it belongs to. Okay, so let's try it out by implementing it out. Okay, so we will do the initial steps the same way. Okay, which is, yeah, I'll browse it out with respect to this, or let me do this. I'll drag this. Perfect. Apply. Okay. Okay, let me execute this. And this is my, yeah, this is my output. This is the input actually that I have. For again, after this, what I'll be doing, I'll be using partitioning to split the data. I'll give this data, specify 70 to 30, or let's say 65. Draw randomly, apply OK, execute it. Okay, after this, what I'll do is I will take in decision tree learner. Okay, this decision tree learner, this is my model. Okay, this will build a particular model on this particular data set, which is my trained data set. Okay, what will have, it will have the 70% of my data. Okay, next thing, configure it. Please note that what will be my class column, let that be as the sex column. Okay, in decision tree there are two measures, I hope you remember. Okay, one is with respect to Gini index, the other one is with respect to okay, entropy. What can we consider as It is based on your information gain. Okay, information gain. You can either select this. Okay, both will give different approach with respect to decision tree. Okay, yeah, I will select it as gain ratio. Okay, rest all things I'll not change. I'll click on apply. Okay. Done. Simple. Next thing, what I'll do is I'll execute this. Next thing, I will go for the decision tree predictor. Okay, I'll go for the decision tree predictor. Okay, let's do one more thing. See here, I have this ID also. See, generally for any machine learning, I don't want an ID to be remembered, because that will again give a setback to the model. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll remove this ID. I don't want it to be there. So I'll go for column filter. I'll go for column filter. I'll bring this in between this. Okay. So I brought a column filter over here. I'll configure it that I do not want ID over here. I'll apply. I'll click on OK. Execute this. Execute my partitioning as well. Configure it. Again, the sex column. Everything applied. Okay. And I will execute this. Okay. And now, is it clear till the decision tree learner? Now what I want you to do is select this partition data, connect it to the predictor, and the output of the learner as an input to my predictor. Perfect. Let's double click. Do not change anything. Let's keep it everything as default. Let's execute it. Right click. Please look into the classified data. Please note that, can I see that there is an 100% accurate results with respect to this female to female? This is the actual data. This is my predicted data. I will show you Deepak. Okay, for this simple data, can I say that I have got a high, very, very appropriate accuracy with respect to the model is concerned? Yes. Okay, and if you want to see this decision tree view, you will see the view on basis of which you can see. I'll do this. Or I will repeat the entire steps, Rajesh, not to worry. So how exactly, on what basis this has done? Weight less than or equal to 70, we are considering it to as female. Greater than or equal to 70, we are considering it to as 70. Who told this? Who told the model to take weight as one of the constants? Did I give something called as information gain? Yes. See, that information gain is the one that is deciding which is the parameter and what is the value of it. Okay, it is all modeling itself. Okay, this is very important question. If somebody asks you, always values of information gained will be calculated. Okay, and the attribute that is having the highest information gain will be selected. Very important point, that the attribute with the highest information gain will always be selected. That is why weight is selected, not height. Why is this weight considered, not height? The answer is because of the value of information gain. And always remember that the attribute that has the highest gain, highest information gain will be selected, not anything other. So train plus test predictor, right? No, modeled plus test is given to the predictor. train is given to the model. Here, decision tree gets handled with respect to either of these two attributes, okay, which is either with respect to gain ratio or Gini index, okay, either of this, okay. So you can select any one of this for the implementation. What about F test and H test? That is different. That is statistical measures, not model. I'm getting 63 total. What is the difference into? One is with respect to entropy, which is your information gain. Okay. And Gini index is takes with respect to the classification, but it difference. Okay. That is one thing. How do I get the confusion matrix? How do I do that? Okay. In KNIME, okay, I have something called as scorer. Okay. That I can bring here. I can give the predicted data to the scorer. Pruning is again an aspect. What is the meaning of pruning? It will just normalize. I'll get like let's say it's just pruning means, in general words, it means the cutting of the branches which are highly disrepresents. Okay, it will just normalize it. So in scorer, these are the two quantities on basis of which we are trying to fail. I'll click on apply, click on OK, and let it get executed. This is my accuracy, which is 100%, and these are the accuracy statistics. Okay. Thank you so much for all.
If you want to make a career in data science, then Intellipaat has IIT Madras Advanced Data Science and AI Certification Program. This course is of very high quality and cost effective, as it is taught by IIT professors and industry experts.